Thank you, Senator Howard. Senator Bloomfield, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I stand in opposition to the override of 599. I voted against 599 when it was in Health and Human Service Committee. Since that time, I've been called everything, and I'm going to borrow one of Senator Council's phrases here, been called everything but one of God's little children. We have been beat up one side and down the other on this issue. I have seen nothing that's going to change my mind on it at this point. I do believe it to be an immigration issue, not a right to life issue, and I will be voting red on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bloomfield. Senator Schilz, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the body. Good afternoon. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I sit here and I listen to this, and I got to be honest with you. For folks in here to impugn others, senators, pro-life feelings and everything else, I'm pro-life. I've always have been. But we have to remember that nothing comes for free. In a perfect world, we wouldn't have to worry about this because there'd be enough prenatal advice and prenatal medicine for all of these mothers. Unfortunately, it does cost money. And we're the ones that have to write the check. Does it pain me to have to maybe turn people away for things? We do it every day, folks. Does it make it wrong? I don't know, maybe. I was wondering if Senator Campbell could answer a couple questions for me. Senator Campbell, if she could answer a question.
Senator Campbell, will you answer a question from Senator Schilz?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, certainly.
Thank you, Senator Campbell. I was just wondering, and I'm asking this question because I'm not sure how this works. We heard today that somebody who is going to apply for these prenatal services has to come in, and what's the procedure? How will that work? What will they have to show? What will they have to do in order to qualify for prenatal care?
Senator Schilz, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to fill out that application, and they're going to have applicants must list their address on the application. Information that must be provided and verified, such as income, will normally include a mailing address, which is an indicator of a residence. Moreover, the department may investigate and require proof of residency if information provided is questionable. And finally, it is our understanding from the research that we've done that HHS looks harder at immigrants applying for coverage for their children, but Nebraska's Department of Health and Human Services is the final say on that application.
Okay, can you define residence for me?
Well, they have to list an address at which they're living, Senator Schilz.
How long do they have to live there?
Well, they have to show that they have been there, I would assume, a period of time. They're asking, really? You have to be a Nebraska resident.
Well, how do you become a Nebraska resident?
You reside at that address, Senator Schilz.
Could I move there yesterday?
You know, Senator Schilz, I don't think that you could. I think you would have to move into that residence, have that address. The department will review all of these applicants. Okay, so my question is that as I look at it, I think that's a big question for me. Is how do you prove residence? How is that going to happen? Has that been done before? Have we had people turned away because of this in the past? The Department of Health and Human Services has a process in which people apply for eligibility and fill out an application, and they would check that. They may ask for a utility bill or some other point at which shows that address. But the department, Senator Schilz, is the one who determines it. Right. Okay.
Well, my question is, if we're talking about women that are under the poverty level, or 185% of the poverty level, may not have a residence that could be permanent, perhaps. I'm just worried that you know, we may run into issues where there's people who are completely legal citizens of the United States that come into Nebraska to get this service because it's available to them. And I just wonder if that could be the case at all. I mean, we've seen this happen before in Nebraska with Nebraska law a few years ago, and I just don't want something like this to turn into another safe haven issue that we've seen in the past. There was completely unintended consequences. Everybody wants to do the right thing.
Senator Schilz, if I heard you correctly, I thought you said if they are a legal residents of the United States, could they come to Nebraska? They would be eligible if they met the qualifications in any of the states because they would be covered under Medicaid.
Time, senators.
Thank you very much.